Hey Taurus, welcome to my channel. This is Venus Baby Tarot, and I am here to give you messages from Spirit today, what Spirit or the universe wants you to know today. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you guys like my content, please be sure to like and subscribe. It helps me grow my channel. And also, if you're looking for a personal session with me, the link to book with me is in the description below. Okay, so let's see, what does Spirit have for Taurus? Oh my gosh. Transformation just keeps coming out for Taurus. It's like every single reading I do, like I swear it's look at that phoenix rising. Like I'm telling you, Taurus, like it just keeps coming out. Like you are the phoenix right now. Look at that. You're crossing bridges, not burning them. Oh, wow. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing, which like we've talked about, excuse me, in my recent videos. Like we have absolutely talked about this. Through gratitude, look, and it's taking you into gratitude and to happiness in your life. Look at this, passion and pleasure on the bottom of the deck. Okay, wow, let's get you a couple of these coffee cards. Spirit, what do you want Taurus to know? I'm going to try to see if I can get another layer to this, because I definitely don't want to just keep giving you the same message. So, okay, yeah, coming out of survival mode. Wow. And that's the thing, like Taurus, I feel like for the last couple of years, you have just been surviving. And I feel like you're getting to a point where you're finally able to move into thriving. I mean, aren't we here for that? Don't we love that? This passion and pleasure, thriving. This says wisdom keeper. So, I mean, just piggybacking off my most recent video, you've gained a lot of wisdom and experience in the recent years, and I'm kind of getting, like, what I'm getting for you, Taurus, is that you are more inclined to reach for joy than you have been in the past. And I'm not saying that you were necessarily a pessimist. I actually generally see Taurus as a very positive sign. But when Taurus wants to feel their feelings, let them feel their feelings. Like, you know, because I feel like oftentimes Taurus, like won't, you know, until it has to happen. But anyway, so, even though like Taurus is like, you know, the sign of sensuality and just like, you know, the senses, I feel like Tauruses do better when they're in the body than when they're in the feelings. So it's all about like, what can I do that's going to make my body feel good, or that's going to satisfy me in that way. And like the depth of emotion is something that Taurus is kind of like, I'd rather do things that make me feel good, right? And so I'm definitely like, I'm getting that energy for you right now, where, you know, like that's you're more inclined to do that now. Like you just want, like you are the pleasure sign, Taurus. Like you want the pleasures, like you want the satisfaction in life, and I feel like that's part of this bridge of transformation for you, because I just kind of get the sense that like you are not staying in the problem. Like you're more focused on the solution. How do I move forward? How do I get past this? You know, what can I do? How can I transform, transmute, transition? Like, you know, out of survival mode, out of struggle, that kind of thing. But I mean, you have grace here, so I feel like it's important to recognize that like nobody's perfect. Like we're always gonna falter. Like humans are fallible. Like that's just who we are, right? But anyway, it's interesting because you have strength and success on the bottom of the deck here. So, I mean, obviously, as we've been talking about, which I really want Spirit to give me something that's not like what I've already told you, but you have gained a lot of strength and wisdom in the past, and like you're persevering, like you absolutely are. And you're not just persevering, like you're actually moving into thriving, like to savoring your life, to having so much gratitude for life. Okay, so tell me what's coming in for Taurus, please, Spirit. The Scribe. Oh my goodness. Okay, the Scribe's kind of like the Akashic records, like it's wisdom, it's knowledge. The Masculine, Feminine. I'm kind of getting like what I think of like the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands with that energy. And I feel like, you know, when you think about the King of Wands, you think about like action and drive, determination, motivation, right? When you think about the Queen of Wands, you think about attraction. You think about magnetism, right? And it's like you're going to be embodying all of those qualities, like very fiery energy, which is so interesting because the Phoenix is right here. And additionally, like in the recent reading that I did, like you were moving into like cardinal energy, which can be like the fire sign, fire cardinal energy is Aries. And that's really interesting because now we have the North Node in Aries. But anyway, I'm just getting that you're moving into like very fiery type of energy in your life, which honestly I feel like could be I just looked down at this card and here's fire. It could be a little, I don't know, like different for you, obviously, as an earth sign to be in such fiery energy. But I mean, I'm kind of getting the sense that like it honestly may even come more naturally to you than you expected, just because your how do I put this? Like because I just kept looking at the Scribe and I was thinking like your inner knowing, your self-understanding, like you're seeing your own like capacity and capabilities, capacity to do things, to achieve things, like. Anyway, so then you have the Nine of Cups, which is my, genie in a bottle card, and I love that. And so I definitely feel like your wishes at this time is to cross the bridge into a new life. And like, do you see how like this Phoenix is rising and then there's this bridge? Phoenix is going over the bridge. And then there's like this new path. Where is this path taking you? To this pleasure right here, to this campsite, to this, to people that are dancing, a good time, right? And you could be going like on a retreat, you could be traveling, or like you're going to a gathering with friends and you're really going to be feeling joyful, like you're not going to be in survival mode and like worrying about bills and whatever, like, because you're going to be focused on like doing things that you truly enjoy. And here with this Ace of Swords, Nine of Cups, the Nine of Cups can also be emotional fulfillment. You could be having like emotionally fulfilling conversations. And I'm also just kind of getting the sense that people are just naturally going to be, excuse me, people are naturally going to be attracted to you, and want to like like pick your brain, like they want some of your wisdom, they want some of your experience, like they're sort of looking to you, Taurus, as like the big brother or big sister, or the teacher, like the person who just like has answers for them. What else is coming in for Taurus? There's the fire again, the Seven of Wands, which is so amazing because look at the lotus flower. See, the lotus came out really strong in the reading I did yesterday. Really strong. And then you have faith. And so it's interesting that I just said strong and then faith. And so it could be that your faith is even strengthening, like your faith in the universe, your faith in spirit. Look at this right here, the Ace of Wands on the bottom of the deck. And the Two of Cups was on the bottom of the deck yesterday too. Okay, we'll just put that to the side. But so I'm also getting here, I'm just getting so much fiery energy. So I have to say this, like there could actually be like a new connection that's coming into your life. Somebody that you just started talking to right here. And it's like kind of like a wish come true thing for you. And there could be a really strong connection with this person, actually, with that Ace of Wands and this masculine, feminine energy. Just kind of fiery chemistry, right? Chemistry. And the only thing that I would say, the only thing that I see here that you may, I don't know, just need to be aware of, that you may need to be aware of is this Seven of Wands right here. And because it's comes out with this faith card, it could be that you just have trust issues. You know, you have a really hard time like trusting, like if this is real, you know, because I feel like you've come out of survival mode. And with that survival mode, I feel like you could have come out of like really challenging relationships with, you know, complex dynamics, maybe even toxic dynamics and cycles. And, you know, and so it could be very triggering for you to deal with like new connections with people, because you don't want to end up in that same old pattern. Because when you're, you know, when you're in those kind of dynamics, you're in survival mode. I mean, because your fight or flight response is like constantly triggered in toxic relationship cycles, right? And your body just like goes into survival mode, you know, and just constant state of fight or flight. And then when you finally get out of it, like your body just shuts down, like it really does. But I feel like you're being guided to recognize like how you've transformed, like how you've risen from the ashes, how you've changed your life, like how you've grown, how you've evolved, the wisdom and the knowledge that you have gained, you know, and what you've experienced since then, and really understand like that things absolutely have the opportunity to be different, have the chance to be different, and you can have faith in that, you know, like, and I feel like you can have faith in that because you recognize yourself and you recognize how much you've changed, but also by having faith in yourself, you know, like having faith in your ability to see the truth, right? With that Ace of Swords. And perhaps that's an issue that you felt like you had in the past, where you felt like, you know, you saw the red flags and you chose to look the other way, or you didn't see the red flags because you had the rose-colored glasses on. And so you really have struggled with trusting your own ability to see the truth in connections. And it could have to do with getting caught up with passion and chemistry, right? Because when there's a lot of chemistry in a connection, you know, you kind of end up in a sort of whirlwind, and you can miss a lot of things. And that could be a fear of yours, you know, to want to take things slow. But I kind of get the sense here with this scribe energy, like I feel like that's really weird that this just came to me. So you actually could have a lot of things like written down about like relationships, about like what you're looking for in a relationship. And I feel like spirit is like telling you to, you know, remember that, or to go look at that, to, you know, use it as your resource, right? For your inner knowing, and just what you're wanting, so that you're not seeing something that isn't there, and you're not trying to make something fit. Okay. But additionally, I feel like you have gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and you can trust that. Like, you can trust that things absolutely can be different in terms of relationships, where you're not in survival mode anymore and you're moving more into actual passion, pleasure, happiness, something that you can be really grateful for. There's a lot of wisdom type energy that I see here. I mean, I think that there's a healthy balance actually between like wisdom, faith, passion, pleasure, that kind of thing. But I feel like ultimately, like with this 9 of Cups here, the way that this person is just absolutely glowing, like basking in the light. The third eye is open. Definitely a lot of illumination is happening here. I mean, I honestly feel like she could be standing in the moonlight. But it also looks like a waterfall. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I feel like, wow, this is so wild, because I just noticed the water up here, as if the water is like pouring down on this person. Wow, that's really interesting. That's interesting imagery. I'm kind of getting the sense, I kind of lost my other thought because now I have to say this, but I'm getting the sense that like this imagery that I'm seeing is sort of to tell you how much you've cleansed and purified old, outdated cycles. You've completed them. That's why you've risen above out of the ashes. But anyway, so this person looks just to be very at peace, and I feel like that's something that is coming in for you, is a lot of peace in a connection or in your experiences, where there are going to be very pleasurable times ahead of you. So, I mean, look at this 2 of Cups right here, and the way that these two individuals are like absolutely embracing each other. I mean, it actually looks really beautiful. So, okay, let's put this over there. All right, I'm gonna get the cats now. The cats. Lately, these 2 decks have called to me more than any other decks, and so I just keep using them. I have tons and tons of decks, but these are the ones that want to come out. So this is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Is one of my very first ones that I got like many years ago. And then Quasar's Felinity deck. All right, here we go. We have the Knight of Cups. Yeah, this definitely does seem to be in terms of a romantic connection coming out for you. Yeah, the 3 of Swords is what you need to know. And I feel like it's what you need to know because, yeah, here comes the Death card. Because I feel like there's going to be a period that this is going to come up for you. It is the pain of the past. And it is what is going to guard you, right? Or cause you to put your walls up. The Queen of Pentacles with the 8 of Cups. Interesting. Can you tell me more about this Queen of Pentacles? The Hierophant. And the Devil. It's so funny because I actually have my ex in my phone listed as the Devil, and not for really do, but anyway, so I gotta be real with you because of the fact that we have this Death card, transformation, survival mode, 3 of Swords. Definitely a lot of pain from the past with an individual. I feel like because there's 2 queens here, the 8 of Cups, Hierophant, and the Devil, I'm getting 2 different energies from this. Yeah, the 5 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. I'm definitely getting 2 different energies here. And recently, I have seen like Taurus moving into a new connection, but like a past connection was coming through. But for some of you, I'm actually feeling like this is just an energetic thing. Like it's not like you're actually going to be in contact with this person. I just feel like it's an energetic thing, okay? But yeah, with this 9 of Pentacles clarifying the 3 of Swords here, I kind of get this sense. Hold on, I have one more question. Tell me one more. I'm going to leave that to the side. Okay, now I can finish my thought. All right, got the Lovers over here. So, okay. What do you get? For most of you, this is an energetic thing. I feel like you have been so very hurt in the past, and you've obviously had to transform your life. With the 9 of Pentacles clarifying the 3 of Swords, excuse me, I feel like you have, you've just focused on yourself for a while. You could be single, could have been single for a while, or just really taking care of yourself, you know, treating yourself the way that you deserve to be treated. Like, you know, just loving yourself, honey, just loving yourself. And I feel like there is a relationship that you walked away from that is making an appearance. Sorry, I'm having acid reflux. There is an old relationship, or yeah, it could even be like very recent, but that's kind of making an appearance in your energy. Could be in your physical life, but I don't see like the Judgment card or anything like that. That's kind of what I was getting at with the cards right there. I'm really getting more that this is just like in your energy. But I feel like it could be a little frustrating to you because there may have actually been like a marriage here, or you were going to marry this person, and I feel like you could really struggle with crossing a bridge to a new life because you're scared. You're scared to get hurt again. Like, I just have to be honest. Like, I feel like you're scared, you know? I feel like you have the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups here. And I kind of get the sense that there's, you know, 2 open-hearted people. But then something happens with the Devil card. And I feel like it honestly could have to do with like the passion, like the chemistry, the connection between the 2 of you could actually trigger you, because you don't want to get caught up in a relationship where there's just so much passion and desire for each other that you can't get away from each other, and then when problems arise, you become so like enmeshed, and you just can't like let each other go because the chemistry is too amazing. Like, in my experience and what I have read and learned, and is that, you know, if there's instant chemistry with somebody, that person could actually trigger your deepest wounds. And you may know that. Like, you may know that. And so you may just be like, yeah, I want like I want the slow burn, not the instant, like fiery, passionate, like I can't keep my hands off you kind of energy. So I do kind of get the sense based off the Devil, the Ace of Wands, this masculine, feminine energy, this pleasure, passion. Like, I feel like it's overwhelming for you because the connection is so strong. And, you know, you're thinking back to like a past relationship, and you're like, yeah, this is exactly how that started. And you get scared, you know. I feel like you ultimately just don't want your heart to get broken again. And it's right underneath the scribe here. And so I'm actually just like, I'm thinking that like this is I don't know why I just heard it's written in your psyche, but that's not what I was going to say. But I feel like this is just like so ingrained in you at this point that it could be very difficult for you to disconnect from that energy. And you put your walls up. But I feel like, again, like Spirit wants you to know that you may be afraid that connections are going to be the same as they were in the past. And that's valid. That's valid. Like, your fears are valid. Your feelings are valid. But I feel like Spirit wants you to really recognize, like, how you've transformed your life, like, how you've changed as a person. And understand that when you change as a person, your situations, your dynamics, you know, your relationships, your experiences change as well because you're different. And I feel like that's what they want you to know. And so over here you had the Four of Pentacles, and I feel like, you know, energetically you may try to pull back, you know, because I feel like you don't want to get rejected. You don't want to get hurt. You know, and I feel like with the High Priestess showing up, I feel like you're just really trying to tune into your intuition. But I was also asking about like another person with that High Priestess coming out, and really what I got was like this past individual. Like, it's more like a psyche thing that's happening. Like, this is what's going on, like, in your energy and your mind. It's not necessarily a contact with an ex, so much as like you could be dreaming about like past situations that have happened or something similar to that, and it's kind of, you know, disturbing you, like when you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I went through that. Like, or, I mean, you know, this person could try to like reach out to you through your dreams and stuff like that, if you believe in that. But I really just kind of get that it's more, like what's going on in your own energy and you just trying to tune into your intuition. But be careful, because so often we confuse our intuition with our fear. And that's a question I get asked often. How do you know the difference? And for me, it definitely has to do with where you're feeling it from. So like a lot of the times when people are thinking they're trusting their intuition, but they're really just overthinking, overanalyzing, and like being hyper vigilant, like it's gonna come from like, I'm like sort of like the sides of the back of the head. You may feel it there. You may feel like pressure like in the top of your spine, your shoulders. That's when you're in your fear, because the tension, right? But whenever it comes from your intuition, it's not really a thought. Like, you're not just sitting there like thinking about it. It's more just like you're just going along, you know, with your day, and it just sort of hits you, you know, and that's how you know, right? That's how you know the difference. And where you feel that on your body, I think that definitely like the obvious placement would be where your third eye is. But I mean, it's also just like a depth of feeling, you know, in your chest, right? Like, I know that this is what I have to do. And usually when you feel that feeling, you feel peace, you know, because you're in alignment with yourself and you are valuing yourself. And so you will feel peace. Whereas when you're in your fear and you're thinking it's your intuition, you're not feeling peaceful. You are feeling over freaking whelmed. And that's what's up. So, you know, just keep that in mind, right? I kind of want to find out like a couple of things. Let me get these out of the way. find out. Okay. Okay, so this individual, I feel like, wants to open up and talk to you and tell you, like, I really want to work on this and like see where this goes. You know, that's what this person really, really wants. Oh, but this is interesting. Why did the Seven of Swords come out? Tell me more about the Seven of Swords. Ten of Wands. Okay. Okay. So this is actually you, the Seven of Swords. That's what I was asking. That's why, like, okay. So that's what I was asking. If that Seven of Swords is you or the other person, it's actually you. This was the person's intentions towards you. This is you. These last two cards, like the way that they're mirroring each other. And so I clarified that a little bit more. You have the Fool, the Ace of Cups, the Lovers, and the Six of Cups over here on the bottom of the deck. For some of you, like, legitimately, it's coming out again, but an ex is going to try to enter your life and want another chance with you. I feel like, I gotta be honest with you, I feel like there are things that you said to this person, and at the time they saw it as, oh, Taurus is just angry. Taurus is just angry, right? And just saying a bunch of nonsense, right? But I kind of get the sense that now this person sees that you were right. Like, you could have been right about everything, honestly. I mean, you're a Taurus, of course you were. But anyway. So, as a Taurus, I can say that I am rarely wrong. But when I am wrong, I will admit it. It may take me a minute, but I will. So, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know if I'm rarely wrong, but I genuinely feel that Taurus, because of the fact that we are so in tune with our senses, I feel like we feel things sooner than most people. And because we feel things, like we feel things in our body, like we just have a knowing, like in our body, we tend to, it's like that's our own version of psychic ability, that we tend to know things. And I'm not saying Taurus is always right, but, you know, trust a Taurus, like truly, like that's just my thoughts on that. Because the number of times people have come back into my life and been like, you know, you were actually right about that, is astounding. Like, and I'm like, of course, because, you know, nobody listened to me when I was trying to tell you that person was shady, but nobody wanted to listen, right? And then they all come back and they're like, oh my God, you were so totally right about that. And I was like, yeah, I know. But anyway, so that's what's up with this person. This person is like, wow, Taurus was so right. So right? And I am getting the sense here that it's like, for some of you, Taurus, and I don't know if this resonates with me, I have to be honest with you, like this doesn't seem like it's my story, but I feels like it's for somebody here. I feel kind of like you have a good opportunity with somebody who's like, you know, you could just be in the talking stage with that Knight of Swords, Knight of Cups, right? But this person wants, it like means business. But I feel like you, Taurus, are almost kind of like slipping out the back door. It's like you're trying to run away from it because of your baggage. Excuse me. I'm congested again today. But because of your baggage, right? And so I feel like for some of you, I have to be so honest with you. Like, some of you are going to go take a leap of faith with somebody from the past, and because the Lovers can signify a choice, right? Like, it can. And I just kind of get the sense that that's what some of you are gonna do. I'm getting another energy here, though. Come here. Why isn't this card coming? I'm getting another energy here, though. I feel like for some of you, you're going to take a moment. You're going to take a step back. It very much is kind of like falling in line with yesterday's reading, where like there's going to be a moment. Like it could be 5 minutes. It could be 5 days. Where you are triggered based off of old wounds. And you're going to need to like take a step back and like work through this, okay? Like within yourself. And so for some of you, you are just going to be addressing a past issue, whether it's in person having a conversation, on the phone, or just energetically you are processing this. And then you are going to, after like sort of backing away from a person, then being like, okay, I'm ready to do this. Okay. And that is the other thing that I'm seeing here. Because of the fact that this 7 of Wands came out with all of this beautiful energy, there is something that triggers you about this situation, like this new situation in your life. And I truly think that it's the chemistry. Like, I truly do. Like, I feel like it can be so passionate or so hot that you're like, oh crap, like I am not going down that rabbit hole again. I'm not doing this. Like, I am not going to be susceptible to that level of vulnerability ever again, to where I become absolutely like just locked on somebody, and then what happens? Like, what if they try to get power over me, and I become very like stuck on them, and I'm just like codependent, and I feel like I can't live without them. I'm sure you've all been through relationships like that. I mean, if you haven't, I am so happy for you. But I have, and it's just like that. I absolutely cannot freaking live without you. Just deeply codependent relationship that you just can't get away from, no matter how hard you try, no matter how bad it gets, right? And I have been there, and I feel like that is what's going to surface for you. You're like, I'm not going down that rabbit hole again. Like, you can miss me with that shit because I'm not doing it. And that's what happens. Like, I'm not trying to laugh. Like, I'm really not, because I think more than anything, like, I would be laughing at myself, because like I could totally see like this kind of dynamic happening for me, because I've had such a traumatic relationship in the past that it was so traumatic that it's like just the mere thought of even any resemblance whatsoever to a past connection would just make me like slip right on back out the door, or slip out the back door, like truly. And so that's why I think it's funny, because it's like, well, yeah, I totally get it, like totally. But anyway, I do kind of get this sense, though, that what happens is that you're triggered by the passion. You're triggered by the chemistry, the connection, whatever, because it's intense. It's intense. And I think that's it. It's intense. And you look back to past relationships and you think how intense it was. Like, you could have become very addicted to the highs and the lows of the connection. And like I said, or even trauma bonded, and you just like simply could not get away from that person, no matter how hard you tried. And so now you see a passionate connection and you're like, oh no, no way, no how, slipping out the back door. I'm not on board with that, right? Like, at all. But I kind of get the sense that like in that 5 minutes, 5 days energy, like you end up gathering your resources, recognizing your own baggage, and really like deciphering, between what is reality and what is your projection? You know, are you projecting a past relationship onto a new person without giving them a chance? You know, and I feel like you're going to sort of need that time out to really tune in with your energy. But I feel like for those of you who aren't like going back to an ex, which I really honestly feel like the vast majority of the people who are watching this reading, this does not have to do with returning to an ex. This has to do with you kind of running for a minute, really looking at your baggage like square in the face. Even if you've done a lot of healing, you're going to have some residual baggage in there that is kind of like so deeply buried that it only could have been like brought to the surface by another intense connection, truly. And so you're going to be looking at it square in the face. And I feel like you'll have to process it, go through like a releasing process, you know, where like you let it go, you realize you're projecting, you're not really giving this person a fair chance, you're not having faith, you have trust issues, all of this stuff. And then you want to take a leap of faith with that full card and really embrace like falling in love with somebody new. And I feel like that's for the vast majority of you. Very small, I feel like it's a very small percentage of people, very small, are going to go back to an ex. But I really see this mostly as, because I'm really feeling like, because your first card was survival mode, I'm really feeling like the vast majority of people watching this reading don't want to go back to an ex because it was so traumatic. Like truly. I know that's my story. You will not catch me with an ex. Like no way, no how. I'm not trying to get traumatized again. No, thank you. No, thank you. So, yeah, that was a lot. Let's go ahead. I want to get one thing here. Your advice, Taurus, is to be the emperor. Like, I freaking love it because you know what I just heard. Any Lizzo fans, who obviously Lizzo's a Taurus, right? Boss up and change your life, honey. Like, boss up and change your life. And that's what's up. You have this transformation. You have the emperor. Like, boss up, you know? Like, don't let it own you. Like, don't let your past own you. Don't let your triggers own you. Don't let it own you. You know, you be the strong bullheaded Taurus that you are, and don't give in to that, right? And I know that that's easier said than done. Trust me, I know. Like when triggers take hold of you, like sometimes it's like you're not in control of your body anymore. I totally get it. I absolutely get it. So the other thing that I'm getting here with this Emperor is being like this power source, you know, in your life, you know, just really recognizing that you have the capacity to control your whole life, like to be in charge of it, to manifest it, right? Obviously, like we've talked about in the past, like we can't control our external experiences, like that's just the universe doing what the universe does. However, what we can do is take dominion over our own life and our own experiences, right? And I feel like basically just this whole reading is to tell you to like really draw on the wisdom of what you know about yourself, or what you know about your past, what you know about your experience, right? And what you've learned, right? And really like use that to see how strong you've become, how much you've overcome, how you've changed, how you've transformed, etc. And then really start to see yourself as a boss who is not going to end up in the same types of situations as you did in the past, because ultimately you are a strong and powerful individual and you take up a lot more space than you did in the past, you know? Whereas I feel like in the past, you gave your power away and now you're taking up space. And I feel like they're kind of like the universe is kind of telling you like you have the capacity to take dominion over your life right now, and you do not have to give in to your past experiences. Like, they don't get to own you anymore. And I feel like it's something that you've worked really hard to release yourself from, and I feel like they just don't get to own you anymore, right? And when you allow past relationships to thread into your new relationships, you are allowing the past relationships to own your current experiences. And so I feel like that's why they're telling you, like, address the issue, address the baggage, right? And then release yourself from it. The 10 of Wands is the end, and it's right before the release, right? And then you have the Fool card. Release yourself from that and embrace opening up to true love with that Ace of Cups and the Lovers card, right? Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a little triggering for you. But I feel like the reason why a new connection is going to trigger you, it's because it's like the last final straw, I guess, to get you to fully release the trauma or just the dysfunction of past relationships. Some of you may go get closure with somebody, but I really, like I said, I feel like for the most part, this reading is truly like energetic, emotional, what's going on within Taurus. Okay. Okay, that was a very interesting reading, and I hope that helped. Remember that you've crossed a bridge into a new life and a new path. Remember that. Okay, so I hope that helped you. And again, if you're looking for a personal session, you can book down below in the description box. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.